Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, what's up, and welcome to the Wednesday KVJ After the Show podcast. Got a ton of stuff that is going on here today. Trying to get it all
busy,
prioritized. I guess the storm would be number one. Keep an eye on a strong tropical storm that is going to be heading for the east coast of Florida.
Would that be on your top 10 KVJ trending?
I'd say the storm's number one. You know, it's the one that's bending our days the most. I've got a kid sitting at home and will be for the next couple of days, or at least today, tomorrow. And he had yesterday off because of the election. So he's got 3 days. He's just loving life. So it's going great for him.
Yeah, hell I mean,
yeah.
He's got the video game set up.
It's good.
He's living his best
Life's
life.
good, yeah. So when you got that going on, you know, those kind of things change things a little bit. So as we're trying to see exactly where the storm's going to go and how strong is it going to be, and then trying to figure out, okay, well, are there any other normal life things you do? You got Adam Sandler tonight at Hard Rock Live. You got the Panthers playing in Sunrise tonight against, ironically, the Carolina Hurricanes. I've got this Vanilla Ice movie in Fort Lauderdale that I would like to go see, but I'm just, I guess, trying to see where things go. It'd make it easier if everybody just canceled everything, but so far it looks like a lot of these events, as far as I'm hearing, are still on.
I got to head to Publix. I need potato bread and smoked provolone. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on out there, Kevin.
So some of the comments that we've gotten so far, somebody said, I work in Miami and I live in Broward County. We're working half a day and will most likely be working from home tomorrow. The problem with Miami is that it floods so easily. Our boss doesn't want us driving down there. And yeah, especially if you're in Brickell. I don't know what it is with Brickell. Well, Brickell's, I don't know. Brickell floods all the time like crazy. They already got to deal with the king tides, and so you'll get that from nothing.
Right.
And then, I mean, you get a thunderstorm in Brickell, and roads are flooded. Remember last time we got a storm? Was it last year?
Yeah.
And people's cars were stranded. They'd gone out clubbing, and that storm came through, and I remember them trying to push it. I remember girls in like disco dresses out there trying to push their cars in, waist high water.
It's not fun.
No.
Coach, people
crazy.
are asking if we're coming in tomorrow. I believe we are, right?
Yeah. I don't live far away, and I think it's going to be, really kind of like a strong thunderstorm. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy. I mean, we'll keep an eye on it. If it's dangerous to drive and there's flooding, I don't want anybody to risk their lives, but as far as I could see, I expect I'm going to have a pretty straight shot.
Well, don't get too cocky over there. The last time you downplayed a storm publicly, I heard every animal was fine at the zoo. Kevin, 5 lions died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and Virginia looked at each other like, oh, shit.
Oh,
damn.
shit.
I'll take the Palm Beach Post on that one.
Yeah.
So much
I
animals.
read an article. They had an article, oh, the animals are fine. So I'm like, I should be in the know. And I bring it up, and it made me look like an asshole.
Well, we're interviewing the animal lady. And it was such a bold statement. Well, I'm just so happy that all the animals are fine. They got through the hurricane. Kevin, it was utter devastation. 4 lions are dead.
Yes.
I'm actually picking up lion carcasses as we speak.
Yeah.
Kevin goes, play the Palm Beach Post.
The day I realized the Post was slipping a bit in their coverage. And what do you know? A year later, they tore down 2/3 of their building.
They did.
Yeah. That's how you knew they were slipping a bit. Somebody else said, since all the schools are canceled in Broward County, you have a good excuse not to go to Fort Lauderdale tonight. I actually would like to go. I just, I'm going to have to justify with the Queen because she was pushing back today.
Well, there is storm preparations you got to do with the family. I mean,
We don't do shit.
That is I'm saying if you were looking for an excuse, it's a viable excuse.
If people would bring that, I'd be, all right. Because Kim, I heard her using that. She's like, oh, I gotta get prepared. I'm like, what are you doing to prepare?
The Queen was using it.
Well, she was using it because she doesn't want to go.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I heard her with somebody else. She's like, oh, I gotta get ready for the storm. You don't have to get any ready for the storm. Like, honestly, we're like Jaybird. All we have to get is we have to make sure there's booze. If we have booze and we're like, we're prepared.
I know. I'm just making sure I have my comfort snacks ready to go.
Good.
My wolf is safe, and I just gotta get that potato bread.
Yeah.
And smoked provolone.
I will never leave without cheese.
Could you buy regular provolone and just blow weed smoke on it?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Oh.
And I think I might even go. Were you telling me you're doing Gouda lately, Kev? Was that you?
Yeah, I kind of have my go-to. It's very simple. When I walk into the store, I go in, I grab my nuts, I grab a little.
I shake them at the cash register,
Yeah,
lady.
I grab my nuts, and then I go grab a nice little slice of Gouda, and I'm off to the cash register.
Smoked Gouda is my cut. That's probably what
good.
I'll end up getting instead of the smoked provolone. And I notice when I get it sliced at the deli, it's way less expensive than when you buy the packaged kind. Smoked Gouda in the package was almost $9. It didn't look like there was more than 12 pieces of cheese. I got a fucking half a pound of smoked
Did you
Gouda
really?
for $7.
Oh, I have to go look at that then.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not doing my cheese right.
I don't think you are.
Yeah, I'll look into it. Somebody said our Publix is closing at 2 today in Stewart.
Oh, shit.
That's in Stewart. Keep in mind, it looks like right now they're expecting maybe a little bit more, but we'll have to keep an eye on this.
Oh,
So
the
who knows?
Publix on North Lake is closing at 11. Oh, you're fucked.
North Lake's at 11. Don't be a dick. Fucking, she's pulling my squalls over here.
Got him.
I'm very vulnerable right now.
I was going to say,
I'm
yeah.
low on bread and cheese, and I can't get down without my bread and cheese.
That'd be tough.
What?
I had a bunch of it. It's gone.
We know. It don't last long. And you're feeding your brother, too. You got a roommate.
He is not small.
He's a large, tall man.
Almost as tall as my werewolf. He can put down some food.
You surround yourself with powerful beings.
Yep. Even at work.
One person texted and said, Jaybird, I work for a dentist. We're leaving the office at noon. Most likely your dentist will contact you later today.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm on good terms with my dentist. I'll hit him up.
Okay.
The worst is to go to the dentist office and there's nobody there and it's raining out.
Oh, no. It's awful.
Yeah. So you got the storm going on. We just had the midterm elections yesterday. Big headline was Florida went a lot more Republican than I thought, or that they thought it was going to. And it's kind of odd. Miami-Dade went Republican. That's typically a Democratic county, and things are kind of shifting and twisting a little bit in Miami-Dade. Broward still, boom, that strong Democratic county. Palm Beach went Democrat, looked like in the elections, but DeSantis gets another 4 should he choose it. Marco Rubio hanging around for a while. And our girl Frankel, she got back in. Brian Mast going to be in there too. So we'll get to see them for a while. And I got this too, and this is something I did vote for. This came from the Palm Beach County School Board. 74% of voters approved the countywide referendum to continue supporting our district. So there was a levy that they had out there, all kinds of things from teachers and schools and mental health services, teacher pay, art, music, PE, all that kind of stuff. So for 4 more years, they're going to be getting that money, and they said we'll remain accountable for every dollar spent. So if you can't invest in the schools, what the heck are we doing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I believe children are
Teach them well and let them lead the way.
That's a great album.
It is.
I believe that's Whitney's first album. Did you ever own that, her first album? You would have been a young kid.
Yeah, I wasn't a pussy.
That was 1990. That was 90 or 91.
No, it's in fucking 84, dog.
really?
Yeah, my sister. I had sisters.
Okay, all
That's why. That's a big reason why I'm a pussy.
right. Okay, all right.
It's got bangers 1 through 10. You of all people, Virginia, would love that album.
I think I had that album.
It's worth a re-listen.
That was my high school senior song. The Whitney Houston, I believe the children are our future.
You old? That was your senior song?
Yep.
It's a whack ass senior song.
It is
Damn, you guys
whack.
were a little behind.
It was whack.
Yeah.
Y'all graduated the same the same year.
Yeah, we're a month apart in age.
That's pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
Never, not
Crazy.
once. Everyone always asks me, "Does Kevin and Virginia ever bump uglies?" Not one time before.
I mean, there's always I believe the children are our future.
There's never. People always ask me, Kevin and Virginia ever hook up before they ever got married? Like, they tell me they never did. And I believe y'all.
Somebody always had somebody. That's the thing. There was always a cock block.
There was always a cock. Well, if there was no cock block, would it have happened? Would you have jumped them Ralston bones?
Not now.
Damn, back then.
Who knows? We drank a lot of alcohol.
We just drank. I had a lot of, I always had good girlfriends pretty much through my entire life, and a lot of them were just, we'd hang out and party. I pretty much always had a close female friend, and Virginia just kind of filled that void.
So but we would hang out like with your girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like your fiance hung out with us all the time we were drinking.
Yeah.
And then your wife hung out with us all the time we were drinking.
Yeah.
So
I always had a man around when drinking.
So there was never a stirring of any sort.
No, I don't think it ever really. We were just out for a good time, man.
Yeah, we're out for the party.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens. Sometimes a party leads to a little porking, and it does happen. That's why I'm saying. I'm saying early on. Yeah, I wasn't around for any of that.
I think things were, especially getting going, things were so unstable. Just, as you're trying to get your footing, that the last thing you need to do is throw complications in. Oh, we banged and now we're awkward.
Yeah.
And I think, too, if you're always like in a group and you have a girlfriend, I have a boyfriend, like it never even crosses anybody's mind.
Sure, I just never knew if there was a time where y'all were single at some point. You came off a bad breakup. Ralston's been single for a couple weeks. You got a couple tequilas in you.
No.
There was never a time like that where both of us were single.
I've always had a woman tell me what to do.
You've always been in prison.
And look how strong he is, because look how delicious I am.
Yeah, no.
I mean, how do you resist this?
I don't know. Just talking about this whole thing's got me half hard, Kev. So.
I bet, yeah. Well, another interesting thing came with the elections that just happened. It meant that, you had a lot of faces that you don't normally see out as much, and they were out a lot, i.e. Bill Clinton was out there campaigning for the Democrats, and he was in Laredo, Texas. This happened on Monday. I don't know if you saw this, but a reporter came up to him and like going, yeah, tell me a little bit about that friendship you had with Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh!
Yeah, and Clinton just kind of like gave him that look, like, and smiled like, all right, motherfucker, you're dead.
I'm going to kill you like I had Epstein killed.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. Great question, dead man. Clinton replied, I think the evidence is clear, is what he said, and just kind of brushed it off and walked away.
I think the evidence is they hung out a lot.
Yeah, he said the evidence is clear. I'm like, it's not so clear to me. I mean, Clinton invited Epstein to the White House at least 17 times between 93 and 95.
17 times?
17 times.
It's more than he invited Hillary.
I don't know if I've ever invited anyone over to my house 17 times in a 2-year span.
That's a lot.
Do you think it's possible? Because I don't. I think there was some shady shit going on. But do you think it's possible that if they did a real deep investigation, they would find that there was there's not all these skeletons and smoking guns we think that there are. We always think there's so many.
In whose closet?
With the whole Epstein thing, you do a deep dive and you realize, well, maybe there wasn't as many famous people being up to no good as we think there might be. Would that shock you?
They're on flight manifestos, which have to be recorded with the FAA.
But does that?
It's not like names would be on that list that didn't go over there to those islands.
But is that 100% proof that they did something against the law?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not saying they did anything against the law, but they were with him a lot, and he was a scoundrel of a sexual deviant nature. So you tell me people hung out with him on the reg and didn't know what he did.
I don't, of course, I think they did some shady shit. I'm just asking the question, is it possible?
Sure.
Anything's possible. Because Epstein also was a man who loved being around powerful people. And he might have tried to lure in the powerful with his private jet and his private island and all this. And all that sounds great. So you very well could be in that whole scenario with him and just like the fancy stuff and not be a pedophile.
Yeah, if you find out Tom Hanks was on the plane and went over to the island, does that automatically make Tom Hanks up? He's definitely a sex offender.
No, but if he came back 8 times, yes. I think the more you hung out, the more chances are you're a deviant too.
When you're invited 17 times in 2 years.
You say that's without a doubt.
That's your boy.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a lot of invitations. Then to have it just be casual, that seems
Right.
like that's a little on a
The
higher
walls
level.
come down.
I'll give
Yeah.
you a pass for being on the jet once or twice, but if you hung out 17 times, that's your boy.
Yeah, in 2019, when Epstein did die, Bill Clinton had issued a statement via his spokesperson that saying that the trips on the private jet included stops in connection with the Clinton Foundation and that he was accompanied by staff, foundation supporters, and Secret Service agents on every leg of every trip. So I think when he says, I think the evidence is clear, that's what he's talking to. Now, he may say my statement is clear, but I don't know that necessarily the evidence is clear. And there is that documentary I talked about that's on Hulu that you can watch. It's all about Victoria's Secret, but they do reference it is possible that Epstein was securing a deal where they had gotten a plane from the DEA, and there's some other interesting stuff that happened there. So that could have been why he was, there and kicking it around with Clinton so much.
Wouldn't you love to know all what went down? Who was over there doing the bad stuff?
Yeah, no doubt.
There's a podcast. It's long. It's like 13 episodes long, but I listened to all of it. And if you really want to know some crazy stuff from people that worked behind the scenes, then were interviewed, people that lived on the island and were interviewed, people that saw all kind of stuff, you should check that one out. It's old at this point,
Yeah.
but if you never listened to it, it certainly was a fascinating listen. It's called The Mysterious Mr. Epstein, and it's from the Wondery podcast line.
That's the thing that sucks about some of these stories. You want updates.
Yes, and they did. They did give a few updates, but I don't think they've given one since they took Epstein out.
Yeah, it's
The update is he's dead.
hard to update with a dead person.
Oh, damn. Zombie Epstein?
Yeah, it's just so fascinating in that power circle, what all went on. And to me, there are just very deep, dark secrets still about Jeffrey Epstein. We probably will never know. And, his associations with Bill Clinton and Trump and Gates and, just very powerful people, and knowing what he liked to do in his spare time.
Yeah, I believe he was doing terrible things. My whole thing was, just because you're on that plane, does that automatically make you
No.
suspect?
I don't think so, because there was chicks on the plane, too. There was, people that I can't imagine, I don't know. There was so many different rich, powerful people on those private jets. There had to be some that weren't pedophiles, that were just there because they liked the fancy life. And Jeffrey Epstein was romancing them with the fancy life. And then when they come on the plane, it adds credibility and it makes the other people come on the plane,
Someone sent me an email about how they heard us talking about fancy planes and jet planes, and they heard Kevin talk about how your jet plane wasn't that impressive.
Yeah.
They were on an impressive one, a rich multimillionaire. They said you could order whatever you want at any time on that plane, and they would make it for you. If you wanted pierogies, they would have pierogies there. They had everything on the plane.
What?
That's what they said.
That's crazy.
Isn't that how a super jet plane would be? You'd be able
No.
to get... No?
They only have so much storage space.
Yeah.
They can't snap their fingers in like an Uber plane.
Yeah.
They said that the jet plane had anything they wanted. I don't know. Maybe they're a fucking liar. Maybe they're a dirty rat.
I think they stock them
Oh,
with
yeah, of course.
high end.
You could request it, I'm sure, ahead of time. But
Sure.
yeah, there's weight limits and all that they have to take into consideration. So they can't say, let's just take as much food and everything possible that they could think of.
You probably could, though, kind of guess what most people would want.
Yeah, if you were flying, they would know to have pierogies
Yeah,
because
right.
you talk about pierogies a lot.
Yeah.
Lately, I have. The last couple of years, I have.
Okay.
'Cause no one else is.
It's a decade of the pierogi.
It's the decade of the pierogi.
For those looking to put on a little extra pounds in the ass.
No, I'm trying to lose weight, but fuck. It's hard, man. Up and down. Fucking yo-yo.
The other interesting story to take a peek at is the Powerball story that's going on. Now, they got a ticket sold in California, $2.04 billion. And I had to do kind of a double take on this myself. And Nick kind of validated with this email. There's something weird that is going on here. In fact, we started off the show talking about the regular show today. He said the whole Powerball debacle was bullshit. And this is it. He even said this. This is dated, this morning at 4:20. He said the delay came from California, and guess where the single winner was from? California. Let the conspiracies begin. And so I had seen this from Nick, and I was, talking about this and kind of ranting on that thought because I had even read in the story that I pulled today, and I even went back to check my source on it. It said California lottery officials announced when the required security protocols are complete, the drawing will be performed under the supervision of lottery security officials and independent auditors. And then as I was talking about Nick's point here today, people were sending me articles saying, oh, no, it was Minnesota. Minnesota was the state. And I started looking, and all the news stories are now saying Minnesota. And I went back to the two sources I used yesterday that said California. Today they say Minnesota. What the fuck is going on?
Damn, they changed
the
it?
story. And I went back and looked at the original copy that I gotten from the story because they didn't do that. They did a paraphrase on the prep services we use. They had taken the original story, which said California, both sources, which now say Minnesota.
That's shady. Something's up.
What is going on?
What is going on?
Imagine that. People are involved, and there's something shady going on around money.
It was just odd because, and I thought I was going crazy after I saw him. Like, I could have swore I read California.
Kevin, don't fuck up the prep.
And I went back and I looked, and sure enough, my source had said California, and the two sources that I had used. But now they've switched to Minnesota. I'm like, okay, I don't know what. And now if you do a Google search for it, I couldn't find anything referencing California. It all says Minnesota was the cause of the delay.
Because they're wiping the internet of any mention of California was the source.
It's been scrubbed.
It's been scrubbed.
I don't know.
It's been scrubbed.
They had a cleaner.
I don't know. So it was just odd that initially the reports that I got said the delay was because of California. Now they're crediting Minnesota.
Well, you're allowed
with the
to.
Delay.
Kevin is allowed to say the initial reports said California because they did, and those reports have now been changed to say Minnesota because that is what happened.
Yeah, I had to even go double, back and check to make sure that did I just dream up California? I'm like, no, okay, I didn't.
You knew you read it. Kevin, don't fuck up the prep.
Well, hey, we're all human, but yeah. So when I went back and checked,
you're also part of robot.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so my two sources had said that, and now every story you see. So if you do hear that, big dude, dumbass, it's Minnesota. That's I guess what the weird switch is that I still don't know where that happened or why.
You ever spend any time in Minnesota?
Been there, yeah.
You like good country up there? You like it?
It was lovely, yeah. Yeah, it's very nice.
What I like it up there is what's it like?
Depends on what part you go to. So it's if you like colder weather, it gets a little cold there early. So they don't have a lot of, they do a lot of snow activity in Minnesota. But it's beautiful. I was there in the summer, and so I didn't have to deal with that effect. It was lovely.
Okay.
Very plush and green.
So much of the country you just haven't seen, Yeah. I'm talking about myself.
Depends on where you are with climate. What is your tolerance to cold?
I want us to go to Montana one of these days. Look at some fucking peaceful horses.
I've been there too. It's
your
beautiful.
boy John Mayer goes there all the time.
I think people go to Montana when they want to, I don't know, they're having a breakdown of sorts.
Well,
so we should go.
It's quiet. It's a great way to get away from it all. They've got a lot of like Glacier National. I got up there. It's beautiful.
How long were you up
like
there?
The outdoors, fly fishing, and that kind of stuff. I was up there for probably a week.
Okay, that's enough time to see if you can jive with the place or not.
Yeah. It was decent. I liked it. I liked visiting, but there's not a lot going on. I remember you went into a place you could get about 20 different kinds of jerky. And
it's that kind of vibe.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live there full time. And the thing that's weird about it is they're so far up north that sometimes, I think it was in the summer, it wouldn't get dark till like 11 p.m. at night or something like that.
That's freaky.
That was kind of odd, yeah. So that's another thing you got to get used to.
It's freaky now sometimes with the time change. You go outside, it's 5 p.m.
Oh, I know. Right now it's throwing me off.
Right now, it's very upsetting.
Yeah, the moon shouldn't be out at 5 p.m.
No.
Although, my werewolf likes it.
Yeah.
Your werewolf loves it.
Real interesting quick thing just to double back real quick. Buster X, he had said in the comments, he said there was a Reddit thread on the Cali cover-up this morning. So Kev is right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I gotta, we might have sniffed that out. There might be a little something more to that. I'm telling you, Google it now. I Googled 6 different times, and I'm like, I'm going fucking crazy. And it all came up, nope, Minnesota. I'm like, I didn't read that wrong. So, okay, apparently other people are on it. So, what is going on?
Good. I'm glad.
A lot of shady shit out there.
I want them to feel nervous because you can't be doing that to people when you're talking about a $2 billion biggest lottery in history.
That's what I thought was odd. The largest lottery jackpot. They were doing it to make sure that nothing shady happened. The state that said, wait a minute, we got to make sure everything's okay, is then the one state that sold the only winning ticket. And there's 45 states, 3 different territories that do it. So out of 48, what would be the coincidence that the one place that had a delay for security and safety reasons is the one place that sold the ticket?
Sounds like there's a snake in the pile or a rat in the kitchen.
Could be. All right. It'll probably be another one of those scandals that we never solve, like Epstein.
Oh, we'll never know the answers to Epstein or the Cali cover-up.
I'm not sure we ever got all the answers to the McDonald's Monopoly scandal. I know that there's been documentaries, but I think there's more to that as well, Virginia.
Yeah. Another lie that we'll probably never get the absolute truth on. Pink lies.
Kevin, I feel like JMZ blew it open.
Josh sent an email. He said, follow me on this. Isn't it odd that the whole cheese stacking controversy came up just a few days after Virginia's pink lies came back into public consciousness? Is it at all possible that this story was fabricated by Virginia and 2 apparent cheating saints to throw off the nation's attention from the bigger story? Someone was hot on her tail after Virginia unknowingly confessed to having lied about having pink eye on the show. Classic diversion tactics used by those in power to help them stay in power and play the general public like you play a kitten with a ball of yarn. Nice try, Vicious V. Who really are these supposed super nice, chill, friendly guys who are also cheating, lying jerks? Come on, V. And will someone please check on that girl that broke this news? Is she okay? Are you like the Clintons? Do you unalive the people who rat you out, Virginia?
Are you part reptilian?
I am not.
Wouldn't that be some shit? She paid those 2 guys to cheat because she was so afraid. JMZ was about to blow the whole thing open again with the pink lies, and her heart couldn't bear it.
So I made a whole cheese controversy.
I love that the person took the time to write that horse shit. That's amazing.
Yeah, Josh said, and yes, I am very high right now, and I'll probably regret sending this email by tomorrow.
Do not regret that. I love that email.
Regret nothing.
That's awesome.
We love controversy.
It's very fun.
Jay had sent this in, said, if only Virginia had someone in her camp get wily at that cheese building, we could have had our own KVJ. They got 2 people stacking. Remember that from the, we got weights and fish.
We got weights and fish.
There we go!
Yeah. Out of here! We got weights and fish!
If I would have seen what was going on at the other end of the table, I probably would have called it out. I'm glad I didn't, because in hindsight, I'm much happier having the radio drama.
Did you see that? You didn't see them at all?
No, because I was at the clear other end of the table. I had no idea they were working together, 2 men, 1 tower, until after, when people started telling it to me. But we had a bunch of KVJ Nationers in the crowd because right before the competition, they were all chanting, "Do it, bitch," to me.
I love it.
And so I think if I would have got squirrely and got pissy and lippy about how Jack and his friend had a 2-man team, I think it could have got ugly out there.
Was Jack and his friend?
Jack Lighton is his name.
Oh,
the
okay.
guy who
like
used to be
he was jacking a 2-man team. Like, what does that visual look like? Yeah, it does sound like you're double fisting 2 dicks.
No.
Not you. Just the way you said it. This is all alleged.
No, the guy's name is Jack Lighton. He's the former CEO of Loggerhead Marine Life Center, and he was playing for the new charity that he's with, Saving the Oceans or something.
I don't know. Did y'all check out that hard-hitting piece JMZ did?
I loved it.
I mean, it was some people are calling it a puff piece. we are standing by that and saying that was the truth being reported.
Some people are calling it a puff puff pass piece because you're obviously high when you did it.
I was like that guy that sent that email, Josh.
And we got another cheater here in charity. Got this from Barbara. She said there's this guy, Eric, wearing number 337 that started to register for our Sailfish Beer Mile race, but then walked away without paying, and he later ran the race with a stolen number that went missing off the registration table.
Damn.
Belonging to a woman who'd set it down for a minute. I reissued her a new number, but when Eric completed the race, I saw him with the stolen bib with the woman's name still on it. He got his shirt, entry, and finisher medal for free. And all my 15 years as race director of local charity races, I've never seen this happen. Shame on him.
What's the end game here? Is it the limelight?
Show us his picture. You have it?
I don't know if I should do that.
You don't.
I love it.
This is Kevin's. He wants to investigate it. Make sure
There he
it's.
is, wearing the bib. They got
Damn.
photo evidence of the gentleman.
I mean, the bib and the number will be a dead giveaway that you took it.
He's got brown hair, dark glasses, beard.
What is the end game? Just the limelight of the race?
He wanted to run the race and not pay to run it, and probably just enjoys the thrill of getting away with it.
Yeah, but then you're robbing a charity, basically.
That's the end game? You get the thrill of running a race for free? There's not more to this?
I don't know. Let's dox him and find out.
What the fuck? The people are weird.
People are weird, and they have weird stirrings to do weird stuff.
Did he just want the championship medal and go, look, I'm the best, I'm the winner?
He might be a fruitcake. He might be a nutty in the head with a bunch of just like nonsense in his head. You don't know what he's got going on. Mental illness.
I don't know what you got going on either.
Well, you're going to find out.
So we got a lot of cheating going on out there.
We got weights and fit.
There we go.
Oh, God.
That guy said that because you could hear it in his voice. He knew there were weights in that fish. And he's going, fuck, I knew they got weights in fish.
Yeah.
He fucking
He don't
knew
let
it.
everybody know.
And that crowd sounds like it had pitchforks ready.
You could tell they have been suspect for about 3 years now. And they're going, we're going to fucking get them this year. We are going to get them. Weights and fish. I knew it.
They got too fancy. They
Yeah.
put too many weights in fish. They had one fish that had weights in it and also had fillets of other fish cut up and stuffed inside.
They got too cute.
You
Yeah.
can't do that. Give me your obvious that point.
Because I believe you had said, Kev, they were former winners.
Yes, they won in the past.
There's no way they didn't cheat before.
They did, and that's what they're saying. They're now figuring out that they had cheated for years
It's
doing
been
this stuff.
brewing with people they were pissed.
Yeah.
Because these guys deal in fish a lot. And you can look at a fish and go, okay, that's obviously going to weigh more than another fish.
Yeah.
And when those guys' fishes kept coming up heavier than they looked long, you had to be like scratching your head going, how the fuck?
You got to realize, too, some people look forward to just winning anything, and they want a fair playing
It
field.
was like $25,000 on the line.
Exactly.
That's a lot of life-changing money that people will stick a pitchfork in your ass over.
But you even see it in adult softball where there's nothing on the line.
Not a dime.
And like a terrible call will happen, and people will lose their shit.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're looking forward to all week long, is playing whatever they're doing. Whether it could be a video game, it could be a softball game, and they got fucked over. And so people
they kick that ball and take out all the aggressions of their loveless marriage.
maybe you and the wife has not been getting along. Your boss has been the biggest dick to you for the last 3 weeks, and this softball game is all you had, and the umpire fucks you over, and you blow a gasket. I've seen it happen, Kevin.
Yeah. There's also another interesting lawsuit. This guy in New York State is suing Hard Rock hotels and casinos, and he wants $5 million in the suit, and he's going to make it a class action. But it's kind of an interesting thing where a lot of times, if you do want to do any kind of scandal, going out and robbing a Powerball lottery of $2 billion, too much spotlight. it's always the small little things. It seems like the people who kind of, it's a little penny here, it's a penny there, it's a penny there, and it all just kind of adds up. What he's claiming in this, and I don't go to Hard Rock enough, but he's saying that if you're getting dollar amount vouchers, what they give you is the dollar amounts but not coins, because I guess they don't deal in coins at the casino. So what they do is they can give you, like if you go up and you're like, hey, I just won $301.23. They'll give you the $301, but the 23 cents are like, here's a separate voucher. You have to go over here to get your 23 cents. And so he's saying in this class action lawsuit, not only does the machine not provide any meaningful instruction on how to redeem the balance, but it says there's no signage available on where to go in the casino. And he says more often than not, that voucher window is at the far end of the casino, and the line usually lasts about 40 minutes. So they make it so tough and such a hassle that if you're trying to get 23 cents, most people are like, fuck it. But think
I'm
about
not waiting in that line for 23 cents, and they keep your 23.
Right.
And they keep her 23.
23. And he's saying...
He's got a point.
They are doing this on purpose because nobody's going to sit there and pitch a bitch about less than $1. But when it all starts to add up, you're talking about millions, if not higher, dollar amounts.
It's dishonest practice, and it's purposely doing it to keep that 23 cents.
It's the premise of the movie Office Space. They have a program where they're only supposed to take a little bit out, but they fuck up the program and it takes a lot out. And it's instead of taking cents out, they're taking thousands and millions of dollars.
Yeah. He says that other casinos that don't dispense coins at their redemption kiosks round up to the next highest dollar. So, you would get the benefit of the doubt on that. But on this, they're not. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Hard Rock in that suit. If you've been there and you've noticed that, then it sounds like they are going after a class action thing to say you've nickeled and dimed us enough.
They probably tell the cashier that works that one window giving out the change to go real slow. So the line stays long.
If you ran look, they do. The Seminoles run an immaculate casino. They are on top of everything, every detail. If you have somebody that's your worst employee and like, gosh, Marv is so fucking slow, put Marv on the change window.
Change window, Marv.
Yeah. Marv,
they want that line to be a pain in the dick.
Right. It is interesting. I mean, you have to have a lot of proof there, but, maybe one to keep an eye on if they wind up losing that. Because in a sense, it's not honest, but it is kind of genius, right?
Y'all need to just put change on all your windows, because that's shady.
Or round up like other casinos do. Just be like, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. We're good. We're a casino. We're doing all right. So, I don't know. Just a couple thoughts there. A lot of dishonesty in this world we're finding out here today.
Yeah. Everybody's shady, Kevin. Trust no one.
Well, just remember, there's weights and fish.
Yeah, weights and fish.
We got weights and fish.
There we go.
That's so good.
All right, y'all have a great Wednesday. Stay safe. We'll see you back here tomorrow, we hope.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.